hell's Seth? He's not in here. Oh my god.
Frontline Gaming. We are your hosts, Richard, tech priest extraordinaire and most relaxed guy on the stream team.
I'm so not relaxed today.
Today is not a relaxing day, and I am Seth, the Mad Doctor, competitive correspondent. Richard, how are you doing today, buddy?
So stressed. Everything went wrong. Okay, guys, let's tell you a story about the podcast/vodcast, whatever the hell we do on a week-to-week basis.
The show.
Yeah. So we wanted to go live, so that was cool. So the
rewind a little bit.
Go ahead.
First midday, we get the notice the kicker's going to be right on the edge of making it, and he's like, "Let's push by an hour."
Yeah.
And we're like, "Okay, we can do an hour. That's no big man." And then he's like, "Never mind, my flight got delayed 2 hours ago." He's like, "My flight got delayed. I'm not making it at all. You guys are on your own."
Yeah. It's awful. Basically everything wrong happened wrong. Before the show.
And then your character animator wouldn't work.
Yeah.
And you were like, let me reboot my computer. And that was like, what if no? And then your internet went out.
Yeah.
And then your internet went out again. And then you forgot to put me in the scene.
Yeah. Then I forgot to. Everyone's caught up. So Tamagotchi Express, you're caught up. Basically, you missed me screwing everything up. And then now we have a show.
All right. Richard, what else have you been up to lately? Anything fun and exciting in the life of a tech priest?
Yeah, no, I flew my plane all the way back to the frozen north, and now I'm here doing shows.
You flew the plane?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a tech priest.
Yeah.
What about you, Seth?
Yep. I went to LVO, and now I'm recovering.
Yeah, well, I'm doing that too.
That is it. That's it. That's all I've done. Speaking of LVO, you want to get into some GW news because there was some GW previews at LVO.
Totally. Yeah. Let's. So who's excited for Eldari? Hands up in the chat.
Not me. No.
Why not?
I still have PTSD from previous editions of Ynnari.
I gotta be honest. They're terrifying.
Oh, the Ari.
They're so terrifying. We saw that.
Sorry, in chat, someone just said, "I feel like I've laid a brick patio all weekend after LVO."
I know. Yeah. It is so much work. It's the most amount of work ever. Anyway, so we have Eldari coming. We have Harlequins coming with that. So that's pretty cool. We have all the releases. Everyone that watched, I assume everyone in this channel watched the releases.
Why wouldn't you?
I mean, I was at dinner. I don't know about you, Seth. So we have that. We have Tau. I'm super excited about Tau. That's coming out this weekend, right? It was pre-ordered then this weekend?
Yep. Right. It should be hitting streets Saturday.
Oh, baby. I am super excited for Tau. I'm super excited for just 2 phases, the movement and the shooting phase. No other phases are required. Yeah.
You shoot in combat, so you can do that too.
Yeah, I mean, if someone's silly enough to touch me, then I can shoot at them. But yeah, that's super fun. What else is coming out? What else? You tell me, what's coming out?
So Eldari is also releasing with a dual box, Eldritch Omens. So you got some chaos with a new Warpsmith in there.
Ooh, yeah. And the price was released for that.
Yeah.
It's a little more expensive than I wanted it to be, but I'm still going to buy it. I'm going to be honest.
No, you'll use that sweet tech priest money.
Yeah, the dollary dues. Yeah, for sure.
And they hinted that after Eldari, it's Tyranids.
Oh, yeah, that's exciting. Actually, I was not expecting that. Were you expecting that?
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise because they've gotten so many new rules lately with the Leviathan supplement.
Yeah.
And with the Crusher Stampede.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy how they just said, you know what, we'll do some Tyranids. Might as well.
Yeah. Chapter Approved hit the streets last weekend. It was in everyone's hands. We, of course, didn't use it at LVO because it wasn't out in advance, but it's out in the wild now.
Have you played any of the new missions yet?
Nope, because my brain could not process new missions at all while preparing for LVO. Because my brain, like, I can't play other game systems. My brain is like, I'm doing this and that's it. Just one thing, nothing else.
Yeah, I played one of the new missions today and completely got it wrong, and so did my opponent. So I don't feel bad, but it was still like, oh,
your opponent's a no-name guy, though, right?
Like, yeah, Nobody knows
Yeah.
him.
Nobody knows him.
Nobody knows him. No big deal.
Scrub.
Scrub. Yeah.
Well, let's get on into the company news. There's two things. The first, I don't know if everyone got a chance to see it on stream, but there was definitely pictures of it on the Facebook page. FLG is launching a new table. So they have a folding table that is 44 by 60, which is the exact play area for the current game of 40K. It's actually a little taller than most folding tables. It's about waist height for me, and I'm about 6'4". So that's cool. And since it folds up, it stores away real easily. They are taking pre-orders online, so check it out there. You had the chance to work on those tables this weekend, Richard. What did you think about them?
They're really great. Like, they're so super sturdy. So we had both of the stream games. I think even Joe had one of the tables too on his stream. They're really sturdy. They're nice. Like, I don't know if you noticed the height, Seth, but they're great. Like, they're kind of under counter height, right? They're not true counter height. So you don't break your back moving models around. So I think I'm super stoked. I definitely tried to get one on the plane, and unfortunately I wasn't able to sneak one on.
They were selling them at the event, and it was like, but you got to take it with you right now. And I was like, I don't think it's worth checking that thing on a plane.
I was like,
I'll probably just buy it and pay for shipping later.
Yeah. Actually, even to kind of the terrain was awesome. Like, the pre-painted terrain sets were really great as well. So definitely something that I'm going to be looking to pick up for sure.
Now, the big news that everyone was surprised about, including you and I, Richard, we were not in on these conversations. The ITC is partnering with GW.
Yeah.
And boy, howdy, is there a lot of news there. So everyone just buckle up, sit down, get ready for story time with Uncle Seth the Mad Dog.
Yeah, grab a coffee or your favorite warm beverage, and let's sit down and learn about this.
Yep. So GW is partnering with the ITC. In terms of support, if you participate in ITC events, you'll get a chance, regardless of size of the event, you'll be entered in a chance to win an all-expense-paid trip to a special GW annual event. That's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Events are going to be getting support in the form of there's going to be events and awards to support competitive play, narrative play, and hobby track, which is all great news for everyone. So they're trying to support all assets of the game. If you win a major ITC event, they haven't defined what a major event is, whether that's all majors or certain ones. My guess would be certain ones. You will win an invite to the official Warhammer finals. So they have their own invitational coming up, which sounds really cool. They're also offering prize support if you win a major event. Again, they didn't define what major is. If you win a best in faction at the end of the season, you will get a free set of digital rules, which is a great way to expand your knowledge of the game. The end of the year ITC champ also gets a free 2,000-point army. So just there you go. Have a new army.
I like new armies.
This is the really interesting part to me, Richard. Top performing ITC players will have an opportunity to be involved with the Balanced Data Slate feedback group. That's really, really cool. They're going to take some of those top level players and get them involved in the Balanced Data Slate. That way, if we have some folks that are obviously pretty knowledgeable about the game, particularly knowledgeable about things that might be out of balance, that's a group that can give feedbacks. That was really cool to hear. TO support. They're going to have TO support for appropriately organized and organizers and judges. Again, they didn't define what is appropriate, but I think we're going to be hearing that more down the line. They'll get free access to all of the rules, so it's nice and easy for them to check on rules. They're going to increase terrain and product support for those TOs. The TOs will also be in an advisory group to help each other, and top-level organizers will also have a chance to join the Balanced Data Slate feedback group, which is all, again, great news. If you're running these big events and you're seeing certain imbalances in the game, it's another chance for that group to feedback to the company about what we want changed.
Yeah, I think all in all, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. They also added a few little more perks to the Warhammer Plus subscription. So if you're a member there, you'll get at events, you can get mission cards and markers and tokens and widgets and early registration at select events, which is also another cool little perk. So I'm kind of liking that. It's almost feeling like the Amazon Prime of Warhammer now.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of asked for this, right? We
Yeah.
asked GW to be part of the tournament scene, and they've
Yeah.
always been away. So they're getting involved, and
Yeah.
I mean, we asked for it, so we should all be happy. I have seen some hubbub. I'll call it hubbub.
Hubbub. Ooh.
Yeah.
I think you just like saying hubbub with the animator.
I mean, obviously, yeah. My the way my mouth goes. So I think that I think it's a good thing. I think that we can all enjoy this, and it just makes, quite honestly, it makes me want to get a main rating in my faction so I can be part of it. To be honest. So I don't know. Look out.
Yeah, I mean,
world.
I know there's 1,000 questions out there that folks still have, and there's a lot of things that in the announcement were kind of vague. Kicker was supposed to be the guy on this week to answer those questions for you folks, but he's stuck in a plane. So you'll just have to sit tight till next week, but hopefully we can get Kicker to spill some of the beans next week.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really excited about this. I think if GW has an investment in the competitive scene, it means they have a reason to care about the balanced play.
Totally.
Plain and simple.
Agree. Yeah, for sure.
If they're not invested in the scene, they're not going to care if the game goes out of balance. So just keep that little tidbit kind of in the back of your mind. If you got questions, definitely come back next week. There is a comment. We're really concerned about the allowance of third-party components on models now. Can you comment on that, Jonathan? We don't know. That's probably going to be my guess, and this is my guess as a guy that knows nothing at all about all of this deal. Would be it's probably an event-by-event basis. Yeah. Third-party bits were allowed at the LVO, so there were not the models weren't pulled because of that there. So. If that's how things are going to go in moving forward, that'd be great. I certainly think GW events will probably adhere to, because they did say they're going to run more events. But GW events will probably just be, hey, you have to run the GW models, and it's their show at that point. It's their event that they're running. If that's the rules they want to make, that's fine. You'll have TOs do that sometimes too. It just depends. We'll see.
I don't know. I think that GW's get their specific events, which they've told us that they're going to be running. Obviously, those are going to have coming. Yeah, those are going to have the specific rules, but I can't see them enforcing those rules on like other events, quite honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think that's probably, and it sounds like the support they're giving for a lot of these events is on the back end. They're not going to necessarily have staff at every event, so that would also be really hard for them to enforce, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, unless they just want to send Mike Brandt to every event ever.
I mean,
he has a small child. I don't think that he would be okay with that.
Yeah, I don't know if he'd be okay with that either.
Or more appropriately, I don't know if his wife would be okay with him leaving every weekend to go to events.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Maybe she will. I don't know.
Maybe she's like, get out of here, Mike.
Yeah, we don't need you.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. We've got the next event coming up is the Frontline Gaming Cherokee Open. That's the next big event, and it's going to be the kickoff to the 2022 ITC season. The new chapter approved will be in use, so that means new missions, new points. It's going to take place in the beautiful Smoky Mountains on the Cherokee Reserve. That's just a few hours from Atlanta, Cherokee, or from Chattanooga or Charlotte. It's a brand new venue. There's a big entertainment center there. There's going to be a free board game night, free board game play all the time. Yep. There's national parks. There's a meet and greet planned for Thursday night, which means I think that I have to be there kind of Thursday night.
Yeah, you're going, right? Did you say?
Well, I'm going to the event. I'm actually taking my wife.
That's exciting.
Yeah, because it's her birthday weekend, and she's like, "I want to go play in the national park," and I'm like, "Okay,
Okey-dokey.
I'll get us a room, and you can go play there during the day, and I'll go $40K for the day." So
that's cool. When
tickets
are
yeah. Go ahead.
That's cool when you can invite your wife to do this stuff. I think it makes the travel a lot easier. Because I don't know about you guys, but I've had to pay some major brownie points coming back from LVO. So,
yeah. Well, yeah, and that's also the nice thing is like, oh, I was just away at LVO, but this Cherokee trip is not me leaving again; it's us leaving again.
Yeah, no brownie points required.
Yeah, exactly. Tickets are still on sale for the 40K champs and the Long War doubles. Yes, we will have the Long Wars doubles there. So come battle it out for your ITC points and have a fun weekend hanging out with your buddies like us. Yeah. Are you going to be there, Richard?
No.
We should make you be there.
I'll be there in spirit. How about that? Machine spirit.
Okay, that's good enough.
Yeah.
in terms of FLGN news, there's not been a lot because the FLGN has been all hands on deck for the stream this past weekend. And so the Grim After Dark guys were like on planes Monday and still not back in their various locations. You and I barely made this show.
Yeah.
The Chapter Tactic guys weren't in town on Tuesday.
No.
So I'm assuming the Thursday show is going off tomorrow. You're the tech priest behind the curtain there. So
yeah, they don't let me show my face on there because they're too good for the tech priest. But
well, I'm not. You're always welcome here.
Thank you so much. So Paul Murphy, Adam actually is in. I believe he's in San Diego. To kind of hang out with the Chapter Tactics guys. Yeah, he's kind of everywhere. Right. He's doing his thing. But he's going to be available.
He's a roaming man.
Yeah, he's a man of the 40K streets. So I think that I'm super excited to get the show going, and then we can start looking at the future to the Cherokee.
Yeah. All right. Now for the main segment. This was again. We had very quick notice that we weren't going to have a kicker, so a lot of this was made with kicker in mind. But Richard / Dickie, whatever one you want to go by, you certainly are able to chime in here. What was your experience? Was this your first LVO? I guess that's the first question.
Yeah, it was my very first LVO.
And I would say you were the organizer and you were the back end. What was your experience like in terms of other events compared to this?
Huge. It was just big. Like there's just so many people. Being from Canada, so Val and myself, the Serval Skull, got there and floated around a bit and then got right to work. So the amount of work that it takes to get a stream up and running, I don't think people really truly understand. We basically got there Wednesday, worked about 8 hours to get the tables and the cameras and kind of everything together, and then worked all day Thursday
getting the tech set up.
Yeah, getting the tech set up. And then we had to pull the tech down for the GW show, so it was crazy. It was a crazy event. It was super busy.
And then you just streamed a little bit, right?
Yeah, we streamed so much. We streamed all day Friday. We streamed all day Saturday. Four rounds on Saturday. I know, Seth, you were pooped at the end of that event.
I was just like, oh, we're streaming Shadow Round. Oh, we're streaming Shadow Round.
It was not. I was not prepared. I think the Serval Skull just went to bed.
He totally left us.
He was like, I'm going to bed.
And I remember at one point wandering back behind the curtain to where you were, being like, man, let's just cut it. Like, how many people can be watching at 11:30 at night? And you were like 1,200, and I was like, oh, we'll keep it up.
We gotta keep going. If there was, if you guys weren't watching, I was shutting that thing down for sure.
So it was. Did you get out of the hall at all, or were you just locked in your little tech booth?
I was mostly locked. Like we ate lunches and dinners back behind the black curtains. But we were able to get out. I got out twice, so I was able to.
Did you see the other halls in the vendor hall?
I totally got. So did you buy anything from the vendor hall first off?
I bought some stuff from the FLG store because I wanted some more killer cans. I don't actually have a lot of those. And I resisted getting too much more because I was in Vegas and I was already spending a good chunk of money.
Too much money, I understand.
And there's gambling involved, maybe.
So some people know I'm a huge World Eaters fan. I know. I'm a tech priest, but I'm also I
underneath that robe, sir. Beats the heart of a World Eater.
So full of rage behind this. So I got the 30K World Eater dice because I really wanted them.
And because they had that kind of stuff there too. They had all the little knick-knacky stuff, which is great.
The stuff that you just don't see, right? So I got that. I got the new mission book. They also gave us cards too. I don't know if anyone. So if you spent over 100
a set of those.
If you spent over $150, you got the cards. So I
got a set of those. So I got to check out the vendor hall a bit. kind of shameless plug here, but if you want a visual of what the LVO is like, I actually have a vlog coming out Friday on my YouTube channel showing everything, including Richard's den of debauchery behind the curtain. But also just like what all is there. Like, I mean, the registration line at one point when Thursday night when it opened up stretched from the registration desk to the casino floor, which was ridiculous. They had the first morning, Kicker was asking you guys here on the show, do you want breakfast and coffee? They had breakfast and coffee, but the hotel drastically underestimated how much y'all wanted breakfast and coffee, and they sent like one person to work the register. And so that line got huge, and then the same problem occurred at lunch, but Kicker was on it. He was a man on a mission to make sure that that didn't happen again. So Saturday, they were well-staffed. There was like 3 cashiers. There were like 2 people making sure food was stocked. So that line moved Saturday and Sunday, so that was good.
So I have to address a comment. No, dice were not $150. I also bought...
I mean, GW dice might be, right?
I got Argel Tal, the Crimson Lord Commander. He's just a beautiful model. Come on, guys. So,
Yeah, I mean, shameless plug here. We've got some of the BCP guys in chat, and BCP functioned the whole time. There was no BCP crash. Great job, guys. I had one issue where I couldn't search, and it was just a clear the cache issue on my phone, and they were there to help if you were having issues. So it worked. It worked the whole time. It seemed to flow just fine. I didn't have any big issues, and that's the nightmare after 2020 is that system going down and us all just going. Huh?
Yeah, it went super smooth. That the pairings went super smooth, so that was awesome. Yeah, almost too smooth because we weren't ready for them half the time.
I mean that's another discussion where we're like, holy crap, who do we get for stream run right now?
Yeah, we gotta. I think there's a better way
for everyone. Yeah, behind the curtains for everyone. When the pairings go live, we as the stream team did not have advanced warning of the pairings. So we're very much scrambling to look through what are the games, who do we want, and then run to the tables to ask the guys if they want to move up on stream.
Yeah.
And everyone's also hustling trying to get their game going, and we're like, hey, wait a minute. You want to come up here and get on the table?
Yeah. It's just craziness back there. You have to put so you guys don't know. So we have to input their scores. So we use BCP. Thank you, BCP. To run the scores, and we have their little games. So we have to set the game up. We have to make sure their names are proper. We have to make sure their factions are proper. Then they have to do the score updating. Not perfect, I'll tell you that. I remember a lot of people complaining. I'm sorry, the players have to do it on their end. We're going to figure a better way to do it, I promise.
Casey, I didn't have to complain. I was just saying there was one hiccup, and it was a simple solution because you guys were there to help.
Yeah,
it was an easy fix. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm on Android. Like, Android always has problems. So, whatever. From a player end, I actually played 4 rounds because you guys really needed help on the stream. So after my 4th round, I dropped to help you guys out. It was that we had the one issue we had was I was the guy numbering tables. So if you were upset about how your tables were numbered, hi, my name is Seth and I numbered your table. We had cards for 450 tables, except we only actually had cards for the first 150. And then we lost the remaining 300 somewhere. No one. There's a mythical tub that says admin on it somewhere that has the rest of those cards. God only knows.
1 through 100.
Yeah, Leo and I were like, "Where's the?" We were scrambling trying to find the tub. Then we just started handwriting cards, and we only got through 300 tables. And we ran out of cards, and we were like, "Well, that's it. That's all we've got."
Just figure it out.
We didn't have any paper. Yeah, it was a whole so. So we were caught flat-footed there. No worries, man. We if you didn't like it, I'm sorry. Penn and Teller. Penn and Teller snuck in and made the cards disappear. Those jerks. We should make them. Oh, they found the box during cleanup.
No.
Baccarat, where did they find the box? I need to know this because there was a manhunt Thursday night for this box. Where was it? You've got to tell me. But anyway, moving on. I'm personally invested in this story now. Let's get to the results, though. For LVO itself, your 40K champs. The winner, as everyone knows, was Richard Siegler, coming in out of nowhere, telling people he wasn't going to come, and then jumping off the top rope and just laying the smackdown on everyone with AdMech.
Do you think that was gamesmanship, or do you think you just didn't know?
I don't know. I could believe he didn't know until the last minute, but that also seems like one hell of a last minute trip.
Yeah.
And so there might be a little gamesmanship there because most people didn't. He had a very Richard Siegler style AdMech, a combat AdMech list that most people couldn't run. So most people weren't teching for it because he was saying he wasn't going. So maybe that was some gamesmanship.
Yeah, it definitely did work out, Matthew.
Oh yeah, it definitely worked. Like at the end of the day, a lot of people were caught flat-footed. Someone found the box and gave it to Leo.
That's crazy. Oh, well.
Where? I need to know where that box was. It's going to upset me. The best painted, that was Israel Sanchez. Izzy's a fantastic painter. He's a commission painter for FLG. You can see tons of his work online. He's also the, if you've checked out Outward Realms, he did all the paints for all of their box art armies. So he's a really, really good player or painter. Did a great job. And then Renman, the overall winner, that typically is a Sean Naden award, but Sean didn't take it this year. That went to Stephen Box, which was a really great experience for him. Stephen's a great guy. He came over and ran a coaching class that was like blew his expectations away with a sold out class. He was super excited about that. He's a really cool dude. He talked to me more than he should have, probably, because I was like, we need to get you on the show. And then he talked for me for like 30 minutes. And I was like,
I know. I really wanted to see him. I really wanted to just shake his hand and say hi. And I didn't have any time to do that. And I feel terrible about it. But, oh, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
But 40K was not the only event there.
No, you're right.
We have the AOS champs. The winner of that is Gavin Greigar. Best painted went to Austin Morgan, and their Renman was Dayton Obrey. So great job, AOS crew. I heard a lot of good things about that. Kill team, that was won by Fernando Marcos.
Ace
Marcos, yes. Marvelous Crisis Protocol was there. That was won by Mike DeLuca.
Nice.
Legion, that was won by J.R. Dieter. And we even had a War Machine event, and that was won by Brandon Owens.
Nice.
Generally speaking, by the way, did you see how rowdy those Kill Team guys were getting?
So rowdy.
They were going late at night, hooping and hollering. Like, they had an after dark event. I have no idea what that entails, but it sounds amazing. Did you check out their stream setup?
I did. It was a very good stream setup. Yeah, that was super cool.
All kinds of tight camera angles.
Yeah.
I think it also helps that camera is a much smaller scale, so you can get really tight camera angles.
But they had like a color, like different color too, so they made it like really moody. Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool looking.
Yep.
That was the event winners. But as we all know, the LVO is also the Super Bowl, the end to the ITC season. So we have finalized ITC rankings. You ready to hit those, Richard?
I'm ready to hit them. I'm just ready to say them though this time.
All right. Well, you want to say them, or I can say them?
I can say them.
All right. Hit us.
So, do you want to go number one? Should we start at the number one?
Yeah, or if you want to build tension, you can move your way up.
Yeah, well, I'm sure everyone bloody well knows who got it. So, number one in the 40K, Richard Siegler, of course. He comes out. He only needed his full.
He's like the freaking Undertaker of 40K.
I know.
He just shows up and just takes you out at the knees.
And he's so calm too. Like I get an interesting perspective. I get to see him at the table, like prepping for the next round, and he's just relaxed. He often just sits down and like thinks and kind of it looks like he's just kind of contemplating the next round. He's computing. Yeah. Well, maybe he's the tech priest.
He is the machine.
Yeah. Number two, Manny Chima, coming all the way from England.
He just snagged the top spot last week too.
Yeah. So he go down. He went down in the shadow round. So that was round 4.
He lost to Alex McDougall in the shadow round.
The old Canadian Alex McDougall.
Yeah.
And then John Lennon is in third, the boy king himself.
Yep. He got knocked out early in the event.
So early. I wonder how he's doing.
I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure he took it. Yeah, I'm sure he took it well. The third in the ITC is like a huge accomplishment. So, the oldest man in 40K. Brad Chester takes 4th. And in 5th,
my God, did you hear about his round 1 game?
Yeah, he had one heck of a first day, didn't he?
His first draw. There's 780 players randomly getting paired, and he gets Mark Hurdle, one of the best AdMech players in the game. And he tells me, I talked to him afterwards. He's like, I lost half my army in top of 1, Seth. And I was like, you what? He pulled out a 1-point victory.
That's crazy.
In that game.
The old man's got some tricks, man. The old man's got some tricks.
He does.
Yeah, and then he played Manny in round 3, and he lost, ended up losing in round 3 against Manny. So that was one heck of a first day. And Sean Naden, who is always up there. This is the first year.
So close.
Yeah. This is the first year he hasn't made top 8 cut. So.
Yeah. He was so close. He was 7 battle points away from making the shadow round. I'm sure he is kicking himself and looking back as to where he could have made those 7 points up throughout that event, because that's a first for Sean. It's almost like that's an automatic. Sean's going to make the top 8 somehow.
Yeah. But you know what? Sean can't be too unhappy, because if we look at the 40K hobby track, he was first in 40K hobby track.
Yeah, and he came out of nowhere too on that rankings. He wasn't even in the top 5, and he's the Undertaker of hobby track.
Yeah, we didn't say his name. I going back from every episode, I don't think we said his name once.
We didn't. I know we didn't, because I type these notes every week. He wasn't in the top 5. JT Steger and Lee Harris were duking it out there for number 1,
second,
and then
third,
Sean Naden just took him out at the knees.
Yeah, that's crazy. And he has a beautiful army too, so he's definitely well deserved. He has got little banners that he does, and they're just freehand perfectness. Oh, it was super cool. Nicholas Wanker in 4th, and Scott Boucher in 5th. Why don't you take the AOS comp track?
Yep. So we got Gavin Gragar, who won the AOS tournament. He sneaks in.
Yep.
We're not sneaking. He was already the number 1.
I guess he wasn't
Number 2 is James Yeah, it wasn't really a sneak. Number 2 is James O'Brien. Number 3, Cody Saltz, who I saw there. He was actually walking around barefoot, and I thought he was taking after Mark Perry. Turns out he just did a lot of running in the airport the day before in flip-flops, so his feet were all blistered. So he was like, screw flip-flops.
Yeah.
Number 4 is Caleb Walters, and number 5, Jinhwa Noah Singh, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right, Jinhwa. Moving down to the hobby track, we've got our number 1 is Nick Garcia, number 2 Derek Page, number 3 Christopher Hernandez, number 4 Ian Wood, and number 5 Matt Abbott. And as a special treat this week, I've got the final kill team rankings.
Ooh, baby.
And there is a little bit of fun here. So the number 1 is Fernando Marcos, the winner of the kill team event at the LVO.
Sure.
But the number 2, I was talking to the TO, is Orion Wilfong. And Orion is an upset because of his high placement at the event. He ended up coming in 4th at the kill team tournament. That catapulted him up into the 2nd place slot. So he almost caught Fernando.
That's awesome.
So good job, Orion. Number 3 is Daniel Marcos. Number 4 is Lazarus, and number 5 is Carlos Duran.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a big. If it's a huge event, I guess you're going to get more points, right? So,
yeah,
cool.
So, let's get into our listener questions now. We put out, I always try to put out what we're talking about, and you can submit questions. So we got a bunch of pre-submitted ones.
So I'm
Some of
answering
them
for
are
kicker?
geared. Well, you can try.
Okay.
You can guess how many steps he took and stuff. There's some questions about hobby track or about Renman, and it was because Renman was calculated on battle points, I believe, and that's what got Steven the lead over Sean. It was not overall placement in the event. It was not because Sean was 13th and Steven was 77th, but battle points evened it out a lot more. Anyway, what was your step count for the weekend? Do you know what your step count was, Richard, or do you want to guess a kicker step count?
Oh man, a lot. My feet were sore every night. So, I mean, I don't know, a lot, a million and a half. There you go.
So my phone does keep track of that kind of stuff. So I was able to calculate for you guys 58,726 steps for my weekend, which roughly equates to 29 miles.
Ooh-wee. That was a long day, man.
Lots of walking.
I just remember them getting you to walk to the one side of the hall and then back to the other side of the hall to get more squares. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, that day I walked more than any other day was when I was doing the field reporting and just jumping between tables and walking back and forth constantly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Craziness.
What was the dirt on Seth dropping? Or was he always scheduled not to play? Heard him on stream but missed the commentary. I knew going in that at some point I was going to jump in and help you guys because I really do want to. I enjoy helping the stream. I enjoy table bossing and reporting on games. But I just wasn't. This was LVO. I wanted to play, and my goal was to go 4-2. And then after Saturday morning, Val had put out the APB for help on the stream, and I said, I really wanted to play my fourth round because it was a player that I had played previously and lost. So I wanted kind of my chance to get my win there. And I said, regardless, after that, I can drop and help you guys. So I did. So I did end up dropping to help you guys. And we sort of kind of on the fly came up with the role of field reporter, which was actually a lot of fun.
It's actually a lot of fun, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to run around and stick my nose into like 14 games each round, and pop in on the stream and be like, "Look at what crazy stuff is happening! Oh my god!"
Yeah.
That's it. So yeah, that was a cool.
Well, you were
cool
super
thing.
Welcome in our ragtag group. That's for sure. So,
yes, our band of heroes,
misfit toys. Yeah.
That too. Yep. Also, part 2. Kicker's already talking about it. The LVO 5K. Y'all are crazy. All right. I lift weights and I was fine lifting weights before LVO, but more walking. Did you not just hear about the 29 miles?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Hey, we'll give anything a go. This is a question I think you could answer very well, Richard.
Yeah.
Is Old Man Brad normally a party animal like he was at LVO?
Yeah, no, he is. He generally doesn't slow down too much, even though he should. He just never does. So yeah, he is a party animal.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen him at a major level event without wine in his hand.
Yeah. I mean, whatever works, right? I don't know.
Hey, I mean, it's his thinking juice.
It must be.
He needs his thinking juice.
Yeah.
A few more questions here. Some of these I don't know how well I'm going to be able to answer, but I'll do my best for you guys. How do you plan to address the ITC scoring system skewing so heavily that people avoid small events and go to established conventions instead? It's to my understanding that the score system this year is based off of number of players and number of rounds. And there is no requirement to attend GTs or majors to get your 6 scores for the ITC. Mm-hmm. So certainly you can play smaller events to get the maximum number of scores, but you're probably not going to be the top person in your faction or the top in the ITC without attending major level events.
Yep.
So hopefully that does, incentivize at least local players to get out and play in those smaller events. I know I love playing in RTTs when I get a chance because it's a great chance for me just to go get a couple of real life games in a day, which I don't usually get to do.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Do you go to RTTs, Richard?
I do, yes. When I'm not streaming constantly, we're doing it.
I would say for guys like you and me to an extent, we probably play more at RTTs than we do at GTs and majors because we're working GTs and majors.
Yeah. Well, apparently, so we're kind of looking at the next one is we got Joe going to Cherokee, so it's going to be awesome.
Okay. All right.
And we look like we're going to the Bay Area Open, so yeah. That's kind of the next big show.
The next one.
Yeah.
Yep. What are your thoughts on top players from teams such as Brohammer and Art of War play testing codexes prior to the release and receiving the codex a month early before commercial release? A point of clarification, I don't know anyone on the Brohammer team that's a play tester.
Yeah.
And there's only one person on the Art of War team that I know is a play tester. That's Brad.
Yep.
And those play testers are under an NDA to not release the rules in advance.
Yeah. And I know Brad takes it very seriously, and I know most of the playtesters take it very seriously. So
I know multiple playtesters personally, and I can't get any of them to leak in advance.
I try really hard to, but they don't do anything.
Well, and the other thing is, the version of the rules that they're working on as playtesters might not be the final version that gets printed because there are multiple playtest teams that are feeding information to GW. So I have heard from some playtesters that the rules they were working on were not the rules that ended up getting printed. So I don't think it necessarily gives them a competitive advantage. The groups that get books in advance for preview, they're also under NDAs until about usually a week prior to pre-orders. But at that point, I mean, you can go out and you can find people that basically do a page by page, turn the book, page in front of the camera review if you want to get that information. So most folks, if you really, really wanted to, could get those rules about 2 weeks in advance, and get a chance to play with them. So I don't think that it gives too much of a competitive advantage, because the other thing you have to think about is hobby lag. If you're not already heavily invested in that army, like if they drop the new orc book, I'm in a good position. I have most of the orc range all painted up and ready to go. But if they dropped a new Tau book, like they are this week, I have Tau, but it really hasn't been updated in a couple years. So I like, if they were like Storm Surges are the best thing ever, I'm like, well, I own none of those.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of hobby lag there too to consider. What do you think about that?
Like, don't we want some of the high level players to playtest to break these books before?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't think they're going to hold the secrets for later in the year. I think they want a balanced game. Talking with Richard Siegler or any of those high ranking players, they want a balanced game that's fun to play, that everyone has a shot to win. So I think it's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on some teams artificially rising points during the 2020 season during the Florida Man Ironman Challenge? I'm just going to nip that one real quick. They changed the ITC rules to prevent Ironmans from happening anymore. So that whole situation's been shut down. You cannot run Ironman GTs anymore. That's done and over with. Pretty straightforward. With the breakdown of top performing factions at LVO, the top 5 were Custodes, GSC, Crusher Stampede, Mixed Tyranids, and Dark Eldar. Out of these 5, 4 are factions running without FAQs for their current rules. Will ITC take metrics from this year's LVO into consideration when determining the cutoff for public dates for publications? I will tell you, I don't know. I don't make decisions for when LVO cutoff is, but I do know that there was a conscious decision to allow those books in. And the reason being is pretty simple. If you're watching LVO and LVO doesn't allow Crusher Stampede, GSC, Custodes in, are you that interested to see what happens?
Yeah.
If you're watching armies, an event where armies that are out aren't legal to play. So I think in general, I'm in favor of let them play rather than no. I do, Rob, the Honest Wargamer, he's always a proponent of no play till FAQ.
Yep.
But the same hand, they can't do an FAQ until it gets played and we find out where the big problems are,
Yeah, it's a tough one. Like I think I agree most with if we didn't let these army lists in, so Custodes, Gene Stealer, called Crusher Stampede, it would have been just Dark Eldar versus Dark Eldar, you know what I mean? Like, it would just, I don't know, man. Like, I work on the Thursday show, and I gotta tell you, if I review another Dark Eldar list, it's gonna kill me. So I'm so happy that Richard Siegler won with AdMech, and that we have Custodes and Gene Stealer called to start looking at. So yeah.
It was exciting to play those new armies and get to see them on the table operating. I don't know if they're going to take that into consideration moving forward. We're not in a situation where we were like a few years ago, where GW guaranteed an FAQ 2 weeks after a book released. So you might be waiting. It might be a case of you're waiting 2 or 3 months for an FAQ. And imagine if you are that hardcore GSC or Custody player, and for 2 or 3 months you're told you can't play your book.
Yeah,
that feels real bad, to me.
Yeah, it does feel bad.
Any other questions in the chat tonight before we wrap this one up? I know we started a little later, so we're running a little late, but we still seem pretty active in there.
Yeah, all 63 people. Thank you guys so much for
we appreciate
showing up.
Richard, how you feeling? You recovered from your trip
I'm
yet?
still so tired.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Will Custodes and Crusher still be good with Tau coming out, Seth?
I think Crusher takes a hit, certainly, because of there's a lot of really strong shooting from Tau, and Crusher doesn't have that much access to like negative modifiers, which really is what's going to hurt Tau. But Custodes, at the end of the day, guys, Custodes are just, they can be pretty swingy because those invols are real good, but sometimes them 4s just don't happen, and then they're dead. So I watched a lot of those games, and sometimes they make 4-ups and they survive everything, and sometimes they don't and they die in a fire.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing with Tau is the ability to have just a ton of shots, tons of DACA, if you will. Downrange, like the airburst fragmentation is 2d6 shots, and that's just a lot of shots coming downfield. So you're gonna fail. You're gonna fail a couple, and failing a couple against a Custodes army when you don't have a lot to begin with is kind of a big deal. So
that hurts a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
The question, there was another one, the Avatar model leaking earlier in the week. Do you think that affected the preview? I mean, I'm certainly they were planning on showing the Avatar, but that was obviously not their whole plan. They had a lot of other things they wanted to show us.
I have a question. What did you think of the reveal as a whole? Were you like, oh man, was the best reveal ever, or you were like, did it look okay?
I mean, it was a good reveal. There was a lot of content there. It was not just like I was concerned.
Yeah.
As a guy going that the online reveals they've been doing.
Yes.
Where it's like, here's 5 minutes on 40K, moving on. Okay, here's 5 minutes on Blood Bowl. Here's 5 minutes on AOS. Like I said, guys, my brain holds one game. So there was a lot of 40K reveal there, which made me real happy.
Yeah. I thought they could have done better. I don't know. I mean, I will tell you, like, the giant bloodthirster guy from Horus Heresy, like, oh my god. That thing's gorgeous. So, I mean, if anything, that take my money, GW, because I want that.
That got your blood pumping.
Yeah, for sure. My inner rage demon, yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's about it for tonight, Richard. I really appreciate you joining me here on screen and helping out with the absence of Kicker.
Yeah.
This show would not have been the same if I tried to do a solo man show. So
yeah.
I really am glad that you hopped in to help me out.
Thanks, man.
Any final thoughts for the night?
You know what, everyone? I saw your comments on could we get a Sneaky Friday episode with Kicker on? Yeah, we can totally ask him and see if we can do a Sneaky Friday episode if Seth's wife lets him come out and play. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if she had plans for this Friday or not. I'll find out, folks.
We'll let you guys know.
Yep. All right,
guys.
Well, the other thing is Kicker's wife might also be like, bro, you've been out of town for a week and you have a small son, so you ain't doing crap Friday night.
Yeah,
we'll find out. Yeah. Well, until next time, folks, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Signals from the Frontline. Have a great week, and we will see you next Wednesday.
Bye-bye.